Columns of black smoke are rising over Ternopil. During a combined air attack with drones and missiles, several explosions were heard in the city. On social media, local residents report a series of strikes, including one on an apartment building in a residential district. The video first shows the fire raging there, and later the building already destroyed. The strike destroyed several upper floors. The city mayor reported that there are casualties. The number of victims is still being clarified. Patrol police have informed that one of the city's streets is currently blocked off. Emergency services are working there.
There just aren't any people here. If they had gathered here, it would have just 3 cats lost, if nothing else. More.
Fires are also being extinguished in the Lviv region. According to the regional military administration, the occupiers struck an energy facility. A wood processing enterprise and warehouses were also damaged. Preliminarily, no people were injured. Emergency power outages have been introduced in the region, but as officials note, this is a force measure due to attacks on energy facilities across Ukraine, not just in the Lviv region. And the number of injured in Kharkiv has risen to 36. Among them are 2 children, aged 9 and 13, and an 18-year-old girl. The city was under a massive drone attack during the night. Civilian infrastructure in 2 districts, Slobitsky and Osnoviansky, was hit in the affected area. One of the Shaheds crashed into a 2-story residential building. There was a large-scale fire there. Rescuers evacuated more than 50 people, including 3 children, from the smoke-filled entrance. At least 6 victims were hospitalized with injuries or burns. Garages and civilian cars under the buildings were also on fire, as was the roof of an office building. There is extensive destruction in the supermarket, and public transport and critical infrastructure have been damaged. The city council has already announced that today trolley buses will not be running on at least 3 routes. All emergency services are working at the sites of the strikes.
Strike UAVs Takugaran 2 were used. At present, 15 impact sites have been identified, where inspections of the scene and removal of debris are ongoing. The targets were civilian infrastructure, specifically a supermarket building, an educational institution, apartment buildings, and civilian vehicles.
So, all night and into the morning, Ukraine was defending itself against an enemy attack. The Russians used Kaliber missiles from the sea, Kinzhal missiles from MiG-31s, and Kh-101 cruise missiles from strategic bombers. According to preliminary data from monitoring channels, it can be said that there were several dozen enemy missiles. The occupiers also launched hundreds of Shaheds. This time, the western regions of the country were mostly under attack. Russia is once again attacking Ukraine's energy infrastructure. This was reported by the Ministry of Energy. The ministry also warns that, as a result, emergency power outages have already been introduced in several regions of Ukraine. At the moment, rescuers and energy workers are waiting for the security situation to improve so they can restore electricity supply and stabilize our energy system as quickly as possible. After that, the emergency power outages will be cancelled. And Poland scrambled fighter jets due to Russia's massive attack on Ukraine. Because most of the missiles were aimed at the western part of our country, the command of the Polish armed forces scrambled their own and allied aircraft at 5:30. However, this measure was not intended to help Ukraine repel the Russian combined attack, but rather to monitor the skies, particularly in the border regions of Poland. This has already become standard practice for Poland and Romania after incidents where aerial targets used by Russia to attack Ukraine entered the territory of neighboring countries.